The book of Joshua, chapter 1. After the death of Moses, the servant of the Lord said to Joshua the son of Nun, Moses' assistant, Moses my servant is dead. Now therefore, arise. Go over this Jordan, you and all this people, into the land that I am giving to them, to the people of Israel. Every place that the sole of your foot will tread upon, I have given to you, just as I promised to Moses. From the wilderness and this Lebanon as far as the great river, the river Euphrates, all the land of the Hittites, to the great sea toward the going down of the sun, shall be your territory. No man shall be able to stand before you all the days of your life. Just as I was with Moses, so I will be with you. I will not leave you or forsake you. Be strong and courageous, for you shall cause this people to inherit the land that I swore to their fathers to give them. Only be strong and very courageous, being careful to do according to all the law that Moses my servant commanded you. Do not turn from it to the right hand or to the left, that you may have good success wherever you go. This book of the law shall not depart from your mouth, but you shall meditate on it day and night, so that you may be careful to do according to all that is written in it. For then you will make your way prosperous, and then you will have good success. Have I not commanded you? Be strong and courageous. Do not be frightened, and do not be dismayed, for the Lord your God is with you wherever you go. And Joshua commanded the officers of the people, Pass through the midst of the camp and command the people, Prepare your provisions, for within 3 days you are to pass over this Jordan to go in to take possession of the land that the Lord your God is giving you to possess. And to the Reubenites, the Gadites, and the half-tribe of Manasseh Joshua said, Remember the word that Moses the servant of the Lord commanded you, saying, The Lord your God is providing you a place of rest, and will give you this land. Your wives, your little ones, and your livestock shall remain in the land that Moses gave you beyond the Jordan. But all the men of valor among you shall pass over armed before your brothers, and shall help them, until the Lord gives rest to your brothers as he has to you, and they also take possession of the land that the Lord your God is giving them. Then you shall return to the land of your possession, and shall possess it, the land that Moses, the servant of the Lord, gave you beyond the Jordan toward the sunrise. And they answered Joshua, All that you have commanded us we will do, and wherever you send us, we will go. Just as we obeyed Moses in all things, so we will obey you. Only may the Lord your God be with you, as he was with Moses. Whoever rebels against your commandment and disobeys your words, whatever you command him, shall be put to death. Only be strong and courageous. Joshua 2. And Joshua the son of Nun sent 2 men secretly from Shittim as spies, saying, Go, view the land, especially Jericho. And they went and came into the house of a prostitute whose name was Rahab, and lodged there. And it was told to the king of Jericho, Behold, men of Israel have come here tonight to search out the land. Then the king of Jericho sent to Rahab, saying, Bring out the men who have come to you, who entered your house, for they have come to search out all the land. But the woman had taken the 2 men and hidden them. And she said, True, the men came to me, but I did not know where they were from. And when the gate was about to be closed at dark, the men went out. I do not know where the men went. Pursue them quickly, for you will overtake them. But she had brought them up to the roof, and hid them with the stalks of flax that she had laid in order on the roof. So the men pursued after them on the way to the Jordan as far as the fords. And the gate was shut as soon as the pursuers had gone out. Before the men lay down, she came up to them on the roof, and said to the men, I know that the Lord has given you the land, and that the fear of you has fallen upon us, and that all the inhabitants of the land melt away before you. For we have heard how the Lord dried up the water of the Red Sea before you when you came out of Egypt, and what you did to the 2 kings of the Amorites who were beyond the Jordan, to Sihon and Og, whom you devoted to destruction. And as soon as we heard it, our hearts melted, and there was no spirit left in any man because of you. For the Lord your God, he is God in the heavens above and on the earth beneath. Now then, please swear to me by the Lord that, as I have dealt kindly with you, you also will deal kindly with my father's house, and give me a sure sign, that you will save alive my father and mother, my brothers and sisters, and all who belong to them, and deliver our lives from death. And the men said to her, Our life for yours, even to death. If you do not tell this business of ours, then when the Lord gives us the land, we will deal kindly and faithfully with you. Then she let them down by a rope through the window, for her house was built into the city wall, so that she lived in the wall. And as she said to them, Go into the hills, or the pursuers will encounter you, and hide there 3 days until the pursuers have returned. Then afterward you may go your way. The men said to her, We will be guiltless with respect to this oath of yours that you have made us swear. Behold, when we come into the land, you shall tie this scarlet cord in the window through which you let us down, and you shall gather into your house your father and mother, your brothers, and all your father's household. Then, if anyone goes out of the doors of your house into the street, his blood shall be on his own head, and we shall be guiltless. But if a hand is laid on anyone who is with you in the house, his blood shall be on our head. But if you tell this business of ours, then we shall be guiltless with respect to your oath that you have made us swear. And she said, According to your words, so be it. Then she sent them away, and they departed. And she tied the scarlet cord in the window. They departed, and went into the hills, and remained there 3 days, until the pursuers returned. And the pursuers searched all along the way, and found nothing. Then the 2 men returned. They came down from the hills, and passed over, and came to Joshua the son of Nun. And they told him all that had happened to them. And they said to Joshua, Truly, the Lord has given all the land into our hands, and also all the inhabitants of the land melt away because of us. Joshua 3. Then Joshua rose early in the morning, and they set out from Shittim. And they came to the Jordan, he and all the people of Israel, and lodged there before they passed over. At the end of 3 days the officers went through the camp, and commanded the people, As soon as you see the ark of the covenant of the Lord your God being carried by the Levitical priests, then you shall set out from your place and follow it. Yet there shall be a distance between you and it, about 2,000 cubits in length. Do not come near it, in order that you may know the way you shall go, for you have not passed this way before. Then Joshua said to the people, Consecrate yourselves, for tomorrow the Lord will do wonders among you. And Joshua said to the priests, Take up the ark of the covenant, and pass on before the people. So they took up the ark of the covenant, and went before the people. The Lord said to Joshua, Today I will begin to exalt you in the sight of all Israel, that they may know that as I was with Moses, so I will be with you. And as for you, command the priests who bear the ark of the covenant, When you come to the brink of the waters of the Jordan, you shall stand still in the Jordan. And Joshua said to the people of Israel, Come here, and listen to the words of the Lord your God. And Joshua said, Here is how you shall know that the living God is among you, and that he will without fail drive out from before you the Canaanites, the Hittites, the Hivites, the Perizzites, the Girgashites, the Amorites, and the Jebusites. Behold, the ark of the covenant of the Lord of all the earth is passing over before you into the Jordan. Now therefore take 12 men from the tribes of Israel, from each tribe a man. And when the soles of the feet of the priests, bearing the ark of the Lord of all the earth, shall rest in the waters of the waters of the Jordan shall be cut off from flowing, and the waters coming down from above shall stand in one heap. So when the people set out from their tents to pass over the Jordan with the priests bearing the ark of the covenant before the people, and as soon as those bearing the ark had come as far as the Jordan, and the feet of the priests bearing the ark were dipped in the brink of the water, now the Jordan overflows all its banks throughout the time of harvest, the waters coming down from above stood and rose up in a heap very far away at Adam, the city that is beside the Zarethan. And those flowing down toward the sea of the Arabah, the salt sea, were completely cut off. And the people passed over opposite Jericho. Now the priests bearing the ark of the covenant of the Lord stood firmly on dry ground in the midst of the Jordan, and all Israel was passing over on dry ground until all the nation finished passing over the Jordan. Joshua 4. When all the nation had finished passing over the Jordan, the Lord said to Joshua, "Take 12 men from the people, from each tribe a man, and command them, saying, Take 12 stones from here out of the midst of the Jordan, from the very place where the priests' feet stood firmly, and bring them over with you, and lay them down in the place where you lodge tonight." Then Joshua called the 12 men from the people of Israel, whom he had appointed, a man from each tribe, and Joshua said to them, "Pass on before the ark of the Lord your God into the midst of the Jordan, and take up each of you a stone upon his shoulder, according to the number of the tribes of the people of Israel, that this may be a sign among you. When your children ask in time to come, 'What do these stones mean to you?' then you shall tell them that the waters of the Jordan were cut off before the ark of the covenant of the Lord. When it passed over the Jordan, the waters of the Jordan were cut off. So these stones shall be to the people of Israel a memorial forever." And the people of Israel did just as Joshua commanded, and took up 12 stones out of the midst of the Jordan, according to the number of the tribes of the people of Israel, just as the Lord told Joshua. And they carried them over with them to the place where they lodged, and laid them down there. And Joshua set up 12 stones in the midst of the Jordan, in the place where the feet of the priests bearing the ark of the covenant had stood. And they are there to this day. For the priests bearing the ark stood in the midst of the Jordan until everything was finished, that the Lord commanded Joshua to tell the people, according to all that Moses had commanded Joshua. The people passed over in haste. And when all the people had finished passing over the ark of the Lord, and the priests passed over before the people, the sons of Reuben and the sons of Gad, and the half-tribe of Manasseh passed over armed before the people of Israel, as Moses had told them. About 40,000 ready for war passed over before the Lord for battle to the plains of Jericho. On that day the Lord exalted Joshua in the sight of all Israel, and they stood in awe of him, just as they had stood in awe of Moses all the days of his life. And the Lord said to Joshua, "Command the priests bearing the ark of the testimony to come up out of the Jordan." So Joshua commanded the priests, "Come up out of the Jordan." And when the priests bearing the ark of the covenant of the Lord came up from the midst of the Jordan, and the soles of the priests' feet were lifted up on dry ground, the waters of the Jordan returned to their place, and overflowed all its banks as before. The people came up out of the Jordan on the 10th day of the first month, and they encamped at Gilgal on the east border of Jericho. And those 12 stones which they took out of the Jordan Joshua set up at Gilgal. And he said to the people of Israel, "When your children ask their fathers in times to come, 'What do these stones mean?' then you shall let your children know, Israel passed over this Jordan on dry ground. For the Lord your God dried up the waters of the Jordan for you until you passed over, as the Lord your God did to the Red Sea, which he dried up for us until we passed over, so that all the peoples of the earth may know that the hand of the Lord is mighty, that you may fear the Lord your God forever." Joshua 5. As soon as all the kings of the Amorites, who were beyond the Jordan to the west, and all the kings of the Canaanites, who were by the sea, heard that the Lord had dried up the waters of the Jordan for the people of Israel until they had crossed over, their hearts melted, and there was no longer any spirit in them because of the people of Israel. At that time the Lord said to Joshua, "Make flint knives, and circumcise the sons of Israel a second time." So Joshua made flint knives, and circumcised the sons of Israel at Gibeah at Haraloth. And this is the reason why Joshua circumcised them. All the males of the people who came out of Egypt, all the men of war, had died in the wilderness on the way after they had come out of Egypt. Though all the people who came out had been circumcised, yet all the people who were born on the way in the wilderness after they had come out of Egypt had not been circumcised. For the people of Israel walked 40 years in the wilderness, until all the nation, the men of war, who came out of Egypt, perished, because they did not obey the voice of the Lord. The Lord swore to them that he would not let them see the land that the Lord had sworn to their fathers to give to us, a land flowing with milk and honey. So it was their children whom he raised up in their place, that Joshua circumcised. For they were uncircumcised, because they had not been circumcised on the way. When the circumcising of the whole nation was finished, they remained in their place in the camp until they were healed. And the Lord said to Joshua, Today I have rolled away the reproach of Egypt from you. And so the name of that place is called Gilgal to this day. While the people of Israel were encamped at Gilgal, they kept the Passover on the 14th day of the month in the evening on the plains of Jericho. And the day after the Passover, on that very day, they ate of the produce of the land, unleavened cakes and parched grain. And the manna ceased the day after they ate of the produce of the land, and there was no longer manna for the people of Israel, but they ate of the fruit of the land of Canaan that year. When Joshua was by Jericho, he lifted up his eyes and looked, and behold, a man was standing before him with his drawn sword in his hand. And Joshua went to him and said to him, Are you for us, or for our adversaries? And he said, No, but I am the commander of the army of the Lord. Now I have come. And Joshua fell on his face to the earth, and worshipped, and said to him, What does my Lord say to his servant? And the commander of the Lord's army said to Joshua, Take off your sandals from your feet, for the place where you are standing is holy. And Joshua did so. Joshua 6. Now Jericho was shut up inside and outside because of the people of Israel. None went out, and none came in. And the Lord said to Joshua, See, I have given Jericho into your hand, with its king and mighty men of valor. You shall march around the city, all the men of war going around the city once. Thus you shall do for 6 days. 7 priests shall bear 7 trumpets of ram's horns before the ark. On the 7th day you shall march around the city 7 times, and the priests shall blow the trumpets. And when they make a long blast with the ram's horn, when you hear the sound of the trumpet, then all the people shall shout with a great shout, and the wall of the city will fall down flat, and the people shall go up, every one straight before him. So Joshua the son of Nun called the priests, and said to them, Take up the ark of the covenant, and let 7 priests bear 7 trumpets of ram's horns before the ark of the Lord. And he said to the people, Go forward, march around the city, and let the armed men pass on before the ark of the Lord. And just as Joshua had commanded the people, the 7 priests bearing the 7 trumpets of ram's horns before the Lord went forward, blowing the trumpets, with the ark of the covenant of the Lord following them. The armed men were walking before the priests, who were blowing the trumpets, and the rear guard was walking after the ark, while the trumpets blew continually. But Joshua commanded the people, You shall not shout or make your voice heard, neither shall any word go out of your mouth until the day I tell you to shout. Then you shall shout. So he caused the ark of the Lord to circle the city, going about it once. And they came into the camp, and spent the night in the camp. Then Joshua rose early in the morning, and the priests took up the ark of the Lord. And the 7 priests, bearing the 7 trumpets of ram's horns, before the ark of the Lord walked on, and they blew the trumpets continually. And the armed men were walking before them, and the rear guard was walking after the ark of the Lord, while the trumpets blew continually. And the 2nd day they marched around the city once, and returned into the camp. So they did for 6 days. On the 7th day they rose early at the dawn of day, and marched around the city in the same manner 7 times. It was only on that day that they marched around the city 7 times. And at the 7th time, when the priests had blown the trumpets, Joshua said to the people, "Shout, for the Lord has given you the city. And the city and all that is within it shall be devoted to the Lord for destruction. Only Rahab the prostitute, and all who are with her in her house, shall live, because she hid the messengers whom he sent. But you, keep yourselves from the things devoted to destruction, lest, when you have devoted them, you take any of the devoted things and make the camp of Israel a thing for destruction, and bring trouble upon it. But all silver and gold, and every vessel of bronze and iron, are holy to the Lord. They shall go into the treasury of the Lord." So the people shouted, and the trumpets were blown. As soon as the people heard the sound of the trumpet, the people shouted a great shout, and the wall fell down flat, so that the people went up into the city, every man straight before him, and they captured the city. Then they devoted all in the city to destruction, both men and women, young and old, oxen, sheep, and donkeys, with the edge of the sword. But to the 2 men who had spied out the land, Joshua said, "Go into the prostitute's house, and bring out from there the woman and all who belong to her, as you swore to her." So the young men who had been spies went in and brought out Rahab and her father and mother and brothers, and all who belonged to her. And they brought all her relatives and put them outside the camp of Israel. And they burned the city with fire, and everything in it. Only the silver and gold, and the vessels of bronze and of iron, they put into the treasury of the house of the Lord. But Rahab the prostitute, and her father's household, and all who belonged to her, Joshua saved alive. And she has lived in Israel to this day, because she hid the messengers whom Joshua sent to spy out Jericho. Joshua laid an oath on them at that time, saying, "Cursed before the Lord be the man who rises up and rebuilds this city, Jericho. At the cost of his firstborn shall he lay its foundation, and at the cost of his youngest son shall he set up its gates." So the Lord was with Joshua, and his fame was in all the land. Joshua 7. But the people of Israel broke faith in regard to the devoted things. For Achan the son of Carmi, the son of Zabdi, the son of Zerah, of the tribe of Judah, took some of the devoted things, and the anger of the Lord burned against the people of Israel. Joshua sent men from Jericho to Ai, which is near Beth-aven, east of Bethel, and said to them, "Go up and spy out the land." And the men went up and spied out Ai. And they returned to Joshua and said to him, "Do not have all the people go up, but let about 2,000 or 3,000 men go up and attack Ai. Do not make the whole people toil up there, for they are few." So about 3,000 men went up from there from the people, and they fled before the men of Ai. And the men of Ai killed about 36 of their men, and chased them before the gate as far as Shebarim, and struck them at the descent. And the hearts of the people melted and became as water. Then Joshua tore his clothes, and fell to the earth on his face before the ark of the Lord until the evening, he and the elders of Israel. And they put dust on their heads. And Joshua said, "Alas, O Lord God, why have you brought this people over the Jordan at all, to give us into the hands of the Amorites to destroy us? Would that we had been content to dwell beyond the Jordan. O Lord, what can I say when Israel has turned their backs before their enemies? For the Canaanites and all the inhabitants of the land will hear of it, and will surround us and cut off our name from the earth. And what will you do for your great name?" The Lord said to Joshua, "Get up. Why have you fallen on your face? Israel has sinned. They have transgressed my covenant that I commanded them. They have taken some of the devoted things. They have stolen and lied, and put them among their own belongings. Therefore the people of Israel cannot stand before their enemies. They turn their backs before their enemies, because they have become devoted for destruction. I will be with you no more, unless you destroy the devoted things from among you. Get up, consecrate the people, and say, 'Consecrate yourselves for tomorrow, For thus says the Lord, God of Israel, There are devoted things in your midst, O Israel. You cannot stand before your enemies until you take away the devoted things from among you. In the morning, therefore, you shall be brought near by your tribes, and the tribe that the Lord takes by lot shall come near by clans, and the clan that the Lord takes shall come near by households, and the household that the Lord takes shall come near man by man. And he who is taken with the devoted things shall be burned with fire, he and all that he has, because he has transgressed the covenant of the Lord, and because he has done an outrageous thing in Israel. So Joshua rose early in the morning, and brought Israel near tribe by tribe, and the tribe of Judah was taken. And he brought near the clans of Judah, and the clan of the Zerahites was taken. And he brought near the clan of the Zerahites man by man, and Zabdi was taken. And he brought near his household man by man, and Achan, the son of Carmi, son of Zabdi, son of Zerah, of the tribe of Judah, was taken. Then Joshua said to Achan, My son, give glory to the Lord God of Israel, and give praise to him, and tell me now what you have done. Do not hide it from me. And Achan answered Joshua, Truly, I have sinned against the Lord God of Israel. And this is what I did. When I saw among the spoil a beautiful cloak from Shinar, and 200 shekels of silver, and a bar of gold weighing 50 shekels, then I coveted them, and took them. And see, they are hidden in the earth inside my tent, with the silver underneath. So Joshua sent messengers, and they ran to the tent, and behold, it was hidden in his tent with the silver underneath. And they took them out of the tent, and brought them to Joshua and to all the people of Israel. And they laid them down before the Lord. And Joshua and all Israel with him took Achan the son of Zerah, and the silver, and the cloak, and the bar of gold, and his sons and daughters, and his oxen and donkeys and sheep, and his tent, and all that he had. And they brought them up to the valley of Achor. And Joshua said, Why did you bring trouble on us? The Lord brings trouble on you today. And all Israel stoned him with stones. They burned them with fire, and stoned them with stones. And they raised over him a great heap of stones that remains to this day. Then the Lord turned from his burning anger. Therefore to this day the name of that place is called the Valley of Achor. Joshua 8. And the Lord said to Joshua, Do not fear, and do not be dismayed. Take all the fighting men with you, and arise, go up to Ai. See, I have given into your hand the king of Ai, and his people, his city and his land. And you shall do to Ai and its king as you did to Jericho and its king, only its spoil and its livestock you shall take as plunder for yourselves. Lay an ambush against the city behind it. So Joshua and all the fighting men arose to go up to Ai. And Joshua chose 30,000 mighty men of valor, and sent them out by night. And he commanded them, Behold, you shall lie in ambush against the city behind it. Do not go very far from the city, but all of you remain ready. And I, and all the people who are with me, will approach the city. And when they come out against us just as before, we shall flee before them. And they will come out after us, until we have drawn them away from the city. For they will say, They are fleeing from us just as before. So we will flee before them. Then you shall rise up from the ambush, and seize the city. For the Lord your God will give it into your hand. And as soon as you have taken the city, you shall set the city on fire. You shall do according to the word of the Lord. See, I have commanded you. So Joshua sent them out. And they went to the place of ambush, and lay between Bethel and Ai, to the west of Ai. But Joshua spent the night among the people. Joshua rose early in the morning, and mustered the people, and went up, he and the elders of Israel, before the people to Ai. And all the fighting men who were with him went up, and drew near before the city, and encamped on the north side of Ai, with a ravine between them and Ai. He took about 5,000 men, and set them in ambush between Bethel and Ai, to the west of the city. So they stationed the forces, the main encampment that was north of the city, and its rear guard west of the city. But Joshua spent that night in the valley. And as soon as the king of Ai saw this, he and all his people, the men of the city, hurried and went out early to the appointed place toward the Arabah to meet Israel in battle. But he did not know that there was an ambush against him behind the city. And Joshua and all Israel pretended to be beaten before them and fled in the direction of the wilderness. So all the people who were in the city were called together to pursue them, and as they pursued Joshua, they were drawn away from the city. Not a man was left in Ai or Bethel who did not go out after Israel. They left the city open and pursued Israel. Then the Lord said to Joshua, "Stretch out the javelin that is in your hand toward Ai, for I will give it into your hand." And Joshua stretched out the javelin that was in his hand toward the city. And the men in the ambush rose quickly out of their place. And as soon as he had stretched out his hand, they ran and entered the city and captured it. And they hurried to set the city on fire. So when the men of Ai looked back, behold, the smoke of the city went up to heaven, and they had no power to flee this way or that. For the people who fled to the wilderness turned back against the pursuers. And when Joshua and all Israel saw that the ambush had captured the city, and the smoke of the city went up, then they turned back and struck down the men of Ai. And the others came out from the city against them, so they were in the midst of Israel, some on this side and some on that side, and Israel struck them down until there was left none that survived or escaped. But the king of Ai they took alive, and brought him near to Joshua. When Israel had finished killing all the inhabitants of Ai in the open wilderness where they pursued them, and all of them to the very last had fallen by the edge of the sword, all Israel returned to Ai, and struck it down with the edge of the sword. And all who fell that day, both men and women, were 12,000, all the people of Ai. But Joshua did not draw back his hand with which he stretched out the javelin, until he had devoted all the inhabitants of Ai to destruction. Only the livestock and the spoil of that city Israel took as their plunder, according to the word of the Lord that he commanded Joshua. So Joshua burned Ai and made it forever a heap of ruins, as it is to this day. And he hanged the king of Ai on a tree until evening. And at sunset Joshua commanded, and they took his body down from the tree, and threw it at the entrance of the gate of the city, and raised over it a great heap of stones, which stands there to this day. At that time Joshua built an altar to the Lord, the God of Israel, on Mount Ebal, just as Moses, the servant of the Lord, had commanded the people of Israel, as it is written in the book of the law of Moses, an altar of uncut stones, upon which no man has wielded an iron tool. And they offered on it burnt offerings to the Lord, and sacrificed peace offerings. And there, in the presence of the people of Israel, he wrote on the stones a copy of the law of Moses, which he had written. And all Israel, sojourners as well as native-born, with their elders and officers and their judges, stood on opposite sides of the ark, before the Levitical priests, who carried the ark of the covenant of the Lord, half of them in front of Mount Gerizim, and half of them in front of Mount Ebal, just as Moses, the servant of the Lord, had commanded at the first, to bless the people of Israel. And afterward he read all the words of the law, the blessing and the curse, according to all that is written in the book of the law. There was not a word of all that Moses commanded that Joshua did not read before all the assembly of Israel, and the women and the little ones, and the sojourners who lived among them. Joshua 9. As soon as all the kings who were beyond the Jordan, in the hill country and in the lowland, all along the coast of the great sea toward Lebanon, the Hittites, the Amorites, the Canaanites, the Perizzites, the Hivites, and the Jebusites heard of this, they gathered together as one to fight against Joshua and Israel. But when the inhabitants of Gibeon heard what Joshua had done to Jericho and to Ai, they on their part acted with cunning, and went and made ready provisions, and took worn-out sacks for their donkeys, and wineskins, worn out and torn and mended, with worn-out patched sandals on their feet, and worn-out clothes. And all their provisions were dry and crumbly. And they went to Joshua in the camp at Gilgal, and said to him and to the men of Israel, "We have come from a distant country, so now make a covenant with us." But the men of Israel said to the Hivites, "Perhaps you live among us, then how can we make a covenant with you?" They said to Joshua, "We are your servants." And Joshua said to them, "Who are you, and where do you come from?" They said to him, "From a very distant country your servants have come, because of the name of the Lord your God. For we have heard a report of him, and all that he did in Egypt, and all that he did to the 2 kings of the Amorites who were beyond the Jordan, to Sihon the king of Heshbon, and to Og the king of Bashan, who lived in Ashtaroth. So our elders and all the inhabitants of our country said to us, 'Take provisions in your hand for the journey, and go to meet them, and say to them, We are your servants. Come now, make a covenant with us. Here is our bread. It is still warm when we took it from our houses as our food for the journey on the day we set out to come to you. But now, behold, it is dry and crumbly. These wineskins were new when we filled them, and behold, they have burst. And these garments and sandals of ours are worn out from the very long journey.' So the men took some of their provisions, but did not ask counsel from the Lord. And Joshua made peace with them, and made a covenant with them to let them live, and the leaders of the congregation swore to them. At the end of 3 days after they had made a covenant with them, they heard that they were their neighbors, and that they lived among them. And the people of Israel set out and reached their cities on the 3rd day. Now their cities were Gibeon, Shepherah, Beeroth, and Kiriath-Jearim. But the people of Israel did not attack them, because the leaders of the congregation had sworn to them by the Lord, the God of Israel. Then all the congregation murmured against the leaders. But all the leaders said to all the congregation, "We have sworn to them by the Lord, the God of Israel, and now we may not touch them. This we will do to them, let them live, lest wrath be upon us, because of the oath that we swore to them." And the leaders said to them, "Let them live." So they became cutters of wood and drawers of water for all the congregation, just as the leaders had said of them. Joshua summoned them, and he said to them, "Why did you deceive us, saying, 'We are very far from you,' when you dwell among us? Now therefore you are cursed, and some of you shall never be anything but servants, cutters of wood and drawers of water for the house of my God." They answered Joshua, "Because it was told to your servants for a certainty that the Lord your God had commanded his servant Moses to give you all the land, and to destroy all the inhabitants of the land from before you. So we feared greatly for our lives because of you, and did this thing. And now behold, we are in your hand. Whatever seems good and right in your sight to do to us, do it." So he did this to them, and delivered them out of the hand of the people of Israel, and they did not kill them. But Joshua made them that day cutters of wood and drawers of water for the congregation, and for the altar of the Lord to this day, in the place that he should choose. Joshua 10. As soon as Adonizedek, king of Jerusalem, heard how Joshua had captured Ai, and had devoted it to destruction, doing to Ai and its king as he had done to Jericho and its king, and how the inhabitants of Gibeon had made peace with Israel and were among them, he feared greatly, because Gibeon was a great city, like one of the royal cities, and because it was greater than Ai, and all its men were warriors. So Adonizedek, king of Jerusalem, sent to Hoham, king of Hebron, to Param, king of Jarmuth, to Japhia, king of Lachish, and to Debir, king of Eglon, saying, "Come up to me and help me, and let us strike Gibeon, for it has made peace with Joshua and with the people of Israel." Then the 5 kings of the Amorites, the king of Jerusalem, the king of Hebron, the king of Jarmuth, the king of Lachish, and the king of Eglon, gathered their forces, and went up with all their armies, and encamped against Gibeon, and made war against it. And the men of Gibeon sent to Joshua at the camp of Gilgal, saying, "Do not relax your hand from your servants. Come up to us quickly, and save us and help us. For all the kings of the Amorites who dwell in the hill country are gathered against us." So Joshua went up from Gilgal, he and all the people of war with him, and all the mighty men of valor. And the Lord said to Joshua, "Do not fear them, for I have given them into your hands. Not a man of them shall stand before you." So Joshua came upon them suddenly, having marched up all night from Gilgal. And the Lord threw them into a panic before Israel, who struck them with a great blow at Gibeon, and chased them by the way of the ascent of Beth-horon, and struck them as far as Azekah and Makkedah. And as they fled from Israel, while they were going down the ascent of Beth-horon, the Lord threw down large stones from heaven on them as far as Azekah, and they died. There were more who died because of the hailstones than the sons of Israel killed with the sword. At that time Joshua spoke to the Lord in the day when the Lord gave the Amorites over to the sons of Israel. And he said in the sight of Israel, Sun, stand still at Gibeon, and moon in the valley of Aijalon. And the sun stood still, and the moon stopped, until the nation took vengeance on their enemies. Is this not written in the book of Jashar? The sun stopped in the midst of heaven, and did not hurry to set for about a whole day. There has been no day like it before or since, when the Lord obeyed the voice of a man, for the Lord fought for Israel. So Joshua returned, and all Israel with him, to the camp at Gilgal. These 5 kings fled and hid themselves in the cave at Makkedah. And it was told to Joshua, the 5 kings had been found hidden in the cave at Makkedah. And Joshua said, Roll large stones against the mouth of the cave, and set men by it to guard them. But do not stay there yourselves. Pursue your enemies, attack their rear guard. Do not let them enter their cities, for the Lord your God has given them into your hand. When Joshua and the sons of Israel had finished striking them with a great blow until they were wiped out, and when the remnant that remained of them had entered into the fortified cities, then all the people returned safe to Joshua in the camp at Makkedah. Not a man moved his tongue against any of the people of Israel. Then Joshua said, Open the mouth of the cave, and bring those 5 kings out to me from the cave. And they did so, and brought those 5 kings out to him from the cave, the king of Jerusalem, the king of Hebron, the king of Jarmuth, the king of Lachish, and the king of Eglon. And when they brought those kings out to Joshua, Joshua summoned all the men of Israel, and said to the chiefs of the men of war who had gone with him, Come near, put your feet on the necks of these kings. Then they came near, and put their feet on their necks. And Joshua said to them, Do not be afraid or dismayed. Be strong and courageous, for thus the Lord will do to all your enemies against whom you fight. And afterward Joshua struck them, and put them to death, and he hanged them on 5 trees. And they hung on the trees until evening. But at the time of the going down of the sun, Joshua commanded, and they took them down from the trees, and threw them into the cave where they had hidden themselves. And they set large stones against the mouth of the cave, which remain to this very day. As for Makkedah, Joshua captured it on that day, and struck it and its king with the edge of the sword. He devoted to destruction every person in it. He left none remaining. And he did to the king of Makkedah just as he had done to the king of Jericho. Then Joshua and all Israel with him passed on from Makkedah to Libnah, and fought against Libnah. And the Lord gave it also and its king into the hand of Israel. And he struck it with the edge of the sword, and every person in it. He left none remaining in it. And he did to its king as he had done to the king of Jericho. Then Joshua and all Israel with him passed on from Libnah to Lachish, and laid siege to it, and fought against it. And the Lord gave Lachish into the hand of Israel, and he captured it on the 2nd day, and struck it with the edge of the sword, and every person in it, as he had done to Libnah. Then Horam king of Gezer came up to help Lachish, and Joshua struck him and his people until he left none remaining. Then Joshua and all Israel with him passed on from Lachish to Eglon, and they laid siege to it, and fought against it, and they captured it on that day, and struck it with the edge of the sword, and he devoted every person in it to destruction that day, as he had done to Lachish. Then Joshua and all Israel with him went up from Eglon to Hebron, and they fought against it, and captured it, and struck it with the edge of the sword, and its king, and its towns, and every person in it. He left none remaining, as he had done to Eglon, and devoted it to destruction, and every person in it. Then Joshua and all Israel with him turned back to Debir, and fought against it. And he captured it with its king and all its towns, and they struck them with the edge of the sword, and devoted to destruction every person in it. He left none remaining. Just as he had done to Hebron and to Libnah and its king, so he did to Debir and to its king. So Joshua struck the whole land, the hill country and the Negev, and the lowland and the slopes, and all their kings. He left none remaining, but devoted to destruction all that breathed, just as the Lord God of Israel commanded. And Joshua struck them from Kadesh Barnea as far as Gaza, and all the country of Goshen as far as Gibeon. And Joshua captured all these kings in their land at one time, because the Lord God of Israel fought for Israel. Then Joshua returned, and all Israel with him, to the camp at Gilgal. Joshua 11. When Jabin, king of Hazor, heard of this, he sent to Jobab, king of Madon, and to the king of Shimron, and to the king of Akshaph, and to the kings who were in the northern hill country, and in the Arabah south of Shinnereth, and in the lowland, and in Naboth-dor on the west, to the Canaanites in the east and the west, the Amorites, the Hittites, the Perizzites, and the Jebusites in the hill country, and the Hivites under Hermon in the land of Mizpah. And they came out with all their troops, a great horde in number like the sand that is on the seashore, with very many horses and chariots. And all these kings joined their forces and came and encamped together at the waters of Merom to fight with Israel. And the Lord said to Joshua, Do not be afraid of them, for tomorrow at this time I will give over all of them slain to Israel. You shall hamstring their horses and burn their chariots with fire. So Joshua and all his warriors came suddenly against them by the waters of Merom, and fell upon them. And the Lord gave them into the hand of Israel, who struck them and chased them as far as Great Sidon and Mizrephath-maim, and eastward as far as the valley of Mizpeh. And they struck them until he left none remaining. And Joshua did to them just as the Lord said to him. He hamstrung their horses, and burned their chariots with fire. And Joshua turned back at that time, and captured Hazor, and struck its king with the sword, for Hazor formerly was the head of all those kingdoms. And they struck with the sword all who were in it, devoting them to destruction. There was none left that breathed. And he burned Hazor with fire. And all the cities of those kings and all their kings Joshua captured, and struck them with the edge of the sword, devoting them to destruction, just as Moses, the servant of the Lord, had commanded. But none of the cities that stood on mounds did Israel burn, except Hazor alone. That Joshua burned, and all the spoil of these cities, and the livestock, the people of Israel took for their plunder. But every man they struck with the edge of the sword until they had destroyed them, and they did not leave any who breathed. Just as the Lord had commanded Moses his servant, so Moses commanded Joshua, and so Joshua did. He left nothing undone of all that the Lord had commanded Moses. So Joshua took all that land, the hill country, and all the Negev, and all the land of Goshen, and the lowland, and the Arabah, and the hill country of Israel, and its lowland, from Mount Halak, which rises towards Seir, as far as Baal-gad, in the valley of Lebanon below Mount Hermon. And he captured all their kings, and struck them, and put them to death. Joshua made war a long time with all those kings. There was not a city that made peace with the people of Israel except the Hivites, the inhabitants of Gibeon. They took them all in battle, for it was the Lord's doing to harden their hearts that they should come against Israel in battle, in order that they should be devoted to destruction, and should receive no mercy, but be destroyed, just as the Lord commanded Moses. And Joshua came at that time, and cut off the Anakim from the hill country, from Hebron, from Debir, from Anab, and from all the hill country of Judah, and from all the hill country of Israel. Joshua devoted them to destruction with their cities. There was none of the Anakim left in the land of the people of Israel. Only in Gaza, in Gath, and in Ashdod did some remain. So Joshua took the whole land, according to all that the Lord had spoken to Moses, and Joshua gave it for an inheritance to Israel, according to their tribal allotments, and the land had rest from war. Joshua 12. Now these are the kings of the land whom the people of Israel defeated and took possession of their land beyond the Jordan toward the sunrise, from the valley of the Arnon to Mount Hermon, with all the Arabah eastward. Sihon, king of the Amorites, who lived at Heshbon and ruled from Aroer, which is on the edge of the valley of the Arnon, and from the middle of the valley as far as the river Jabbok, the boundary of the Ammonites, that is, half of Gilead, and the Arabah to the sea of Chinrith, eastward, and in the direction of Beth-Sheshemeth, to the sea of the Arabah, the Salt Sea, southward to the foot of the slopes of Pisgah. And Og, king of Bashan, one of the remnant of the Rephaim, who lived at Ashtaroth and at Edrei, and ruled over Mount Hermon and Salekah, and all Bashan to the boundary of the Geshurites and the Maacathites, and over half of Gilead to the boundary of Sihon, king of Heshbon. Moses, the servant of the Lord, and the people of Israel defeated them. And Moses, the servant of the Lord, gave their land for a possession to the Reubenites and the Gadites, and the half-tribe of Manasseh. And these are the kings of the land whom Joshua and the people of Israel defeated on the west side of the Jordan, from Baal-Gad in the valley of Lebanon to Mount Halak, that rises towards Seir. And Joshua gave their land to the tribes of Israel as a possession according to their allotments, in the hill country, in the lowland, in the Arabah, in the slopes, in the wilderness, and in the Negeb, the land of the Hittites, the Amorites, the Canaanites, the Perizzites, the Hivites, and the Jebusites. The king of Jericho, 1, the king of Ai, which is beside Bethel, 1, the king of Jerusalem, 1, the king of Hebron, 1, the king of Jarmuth, 1, the king of Lachish, 1, the king of Eglon, 1, the king of Gezer, 1, the king of Debir, 1, the king of Geder, 1, the king of Hormah, 1, the king of Arad, 1, the king of Libnah, 1, the king of Adullam, 1, the king of Makkedah, 1, the king of Bethel, 1, the king of Tappuah, 1, the king of Hepher, 1, the king of Aphek, 1, the king of Lasharon, 1, the king of Madon, 1, the king of Hazor, 1, the king of Shimron Meron, 1, the king of Akshaph, 1, the king of Tanakh, 1, the king of Megiddo, 1, the king of Kadesh, 1, the king of Jokneam in Carmel, 1, the king of Dor in Naphath Dor, 1, the king of Goim in Galilee, 1, the king of Tirzah, 1, in all 31 kings. Joshua 13. Now Joshua was old and advanced in years. And the Lord said to him, You are old and advanced in years, and there remains yet very much land to possess. This is the land that yet remains, all the regions of the Philistines, and all those of the Geshurites, from the Shihor, which is east of Egypt, northward to the boundary of Ekron. It is counted as Canaanite. There are 5 rulers of the Philistines, those of Gaza, Ashdod, Ashkelon, Gath, and Ekron.
Genesis
and
16.
those of the Avim in the south, all the land of the Canaanites, and Merah, that belongs to the Sidonians, to Aphek, to the boundary of the Amorites, and the land of the Gibeonites, and all Lebanon toward the sunrise, from Baal-Gad below Mount Hermon to Lebo-Hamath, all the inhabitants of the hill country from Lebanon to Misrephoth-Maim, even all the Sidonians.
So after
I myself will drive them out from before the people of Israel. Only allot the land to Israel for an inheritance, as I have commanded you. Now therefore divide this land for an inheritance to the 9 tribes and half the tribe of Manasseh. With the other half of the tribe of Manasseh, the Reubenites and the Gadites received their inheritance which Moses gave them beyond the Jordan eastward, as Moses the servant of the Lord gave them, from Aroer, which is on the edge of the valley of the Arnon, and the city that is in the middle of the valley, and all the tableland of Medeba, as far as Dibon, and all the cities of Sihon, king of the Amorites, who reigned in Heshbon, as far as the boundary of the Ammonites, and Gilead, and the region of the Geshurites, and the Maacathites, and all Mount Hermon, and all Bashan to Salekah, all the kingdom of Og in Bashan, who reigned in Ashtaroth and in Edrei. He alone was left of the remnant of the Rephaim. These Moses had struck and driven out. Yet the people of Israel did not drive out the Geshurites, or the
The angel of
Maccathites,
the Lord also
but
said to
Gesher
her,
and
I
Maaccath
will
dwell
surely
in the
multiply
midst of
your
Israel
offspring so
to this
that
day.
they cannot
To
be
the tribe of
numbered for
Levi alone
multitude.
Moses
And the
gave
angel of the
no
Lord said to her,
inheritance.
Behold,
The offerings
you are
by
pregnant
fire
and
to the
shall
Lord
bear
God of
a
Israel
son.
are their
You shall call
inheritance,
his name
as he said.
Ishmael, because the
And
Lord
Moses
has
gave an
listened
inheritance to
to
the
your
tribe of the
affliction.
people of Reuben
He
according to
shall
their
be a
clans.
wild donkey of
So
a
their
man,
territory was
his
from
hand
Aroer,
against
which is on the
everyone,
edge of the
and
valley of the
everyone's hand
Arnon,
against
and the
him.
city that is in the
And
middle of
he
the
shall
valley,
dwell
and all the
over
tableland
against
by
all
Medeba,
his kinsmen.
with Heshbon
So she
and all
called
its
the name of the
cities
Lord
that are
who
in
spoke
the
to her.
tableland,
You
Dibon
are a
and
God
Bamoth
of
Baal,
seeing,
and
for
Beth
she said,
Baal-meon,
Truly,
and Jahaz,
here
and
I have seen
Kedemoth,
him
and
who
Maphath,
looks after
and
me.
Kiriathaim,
Therefore
and
the
Sibmah,
well was called
and Zereth
Be'er
Shahar on the hill of the
Lahai-roi.
valley,
It
and
lies
Beth Peor,
between Kadesh
and the slopes
and
of
Bered.
Pisgah, and Beth
And Hagar
Jeshemeth,
bore Abram a
that is,
son.
all the cities
And
of the
Abram called the name
tableland,
of his son,
and all the
whom
kingdom of
Hagar
Sihon,
bore,
king of the Amorites,
Ishmael.
who reigned in Heshbon,
Abram was
whom
86
Moses
years old when
defeated
Hagar
with the
bore
leaders of Midian,
Ishmael
Evi,
to Abram.
and Rechem, and
Genesis
Zur,
17.
and Hur, and Reba,
Abram was
the princes of
99 years
Sihon,
old.
who lived in the
The
land.
Lord appeared to Abram
Balaam
and said to
also,
him,
the son of Beor,
I
the
am
one who
God
practiced
Almighty.
divination, was
Walk
killed with a
before
sword
me
by the
and
people of
be
Israel
blameless,
among the rest of their
that I
slain.
may make my
And the border of the
covenant
people of
between me
Reuben
and
was the Jordan
and
as a
may
boundary.
multiply you
This was
greatly.
the inheritance
And
of the
Abram
people of
fell on
Reuben
his
according to
face,
their
and God
clans
said
with their
to him,
cities and villages.
Behold, my
Moses
covenant
gave
is
an
with
inheritance
you,
also to the
and
tribe
you
of
shall
Gad,
be
to
the
the people of
father
Gad
a
according to their
multitude of
clans.
nations.
Their
No
territory
longer
was
shall your name be
Jazer,
called
and all the cities
Abram,
of Gilead,
but
and
your
half the
name
land of
shall
the
be
Ammonites to
Abraham,
Aroer, which is
for I
east
have
of
made you
Rabbah,
the
and
father
from
of a
Heshbon to
multitude
Ramoth
of
Mizpah,
nations.
and
I will make
Betonim,
you
and from
exceedingly
Mahanaim to the
fruitful,
territory of
and I will
Debir,
make you
and in the
into
valley
nations,
Beth
and
Haram,
kings
Beth
shall
Nimrah,
come from
Succoth,
you.
and
And I will
Zaphon,
establish
the
my
rest of the
covenant
kingdom of
between
Sihon,
me
king of
and
Heshbon,
you
having the
and your
Jordan as a
offspring after
boundary,
you
to the
throughout
lower
their
end of the
generations
sea
for
of
an
Chinnereth,
everlasting
eastward
covenant
beyond
to
the
be God
Jordan.
to you,
And
and to
this
your
is the
offspring
inheritance of
after
the people
you.
of Gad
And I will
according to
give
their
to you and to
clans,
your
with
offspring
their
after you
cities
the
and
land of
villages.
your sojournings.
And Moses
all
gave an
the
inheritance
land
to the
of Canaan
half-tribe of
for an
Manasseh.
everlasting
It was
possession,
allotted to the
and
half-tribe of the
I
people of
will
Manasseh
be
according to their
their
clans.
God.
Their region extended
And God said to
from
Abraham,
Mahanaim
As for you,
through all Bashan,
you shall
the whole
keep my
kingdom of
covenant,
Og,
you
king of
and your
Bashan,
offspring after
and
you
all the
throughout
towns
their
of Jair,
generations.
which are in
This is my
Bashan,
covenant
60
which you shall
cities,
keep
and
between
half
me
Gilead,
and you
and
your
Ashtaroth,
offspring after
and
you.
Edrei, the cities of the
Every
kingdom of
male
Og and
among
Bashan.
you shall
These
be
were allotted to the people of
circumcised. You shall
Machir,
be
the son of Manasseh,
circumcised in the
for the
flesh
half
of
of the
your
people of
foreskins,
Machir according
and
to
it
their
shall be a
clans.
sign of the
These are the
covenant between me
inheritances
and
that
you.
Moses
He
distributed
who is
in the
8
plains
days
of
old
Moab
among you
beyond the
shall
Jordan
be
east of Jericho.
circumcised.
But to the
Every
tribe of
male
Levi,
throughout your
Moses gave no
generations, whether
inheritance.
born
The
in your
Lord
house
God of
or
Israel
bought with
is
your
their
money from
inheritance,
any
just
foreigner
as he
who
said
is
to
not
them.
of your offspring,
Joshua
both
14.
he who is born in your
These
house
are the inheritance that
and
the people of
he
Israel
who is bought
received
with
in the
your
land of
money
Canaan,
shall
which
surely
Eleazar the
be
priest and Joshua the son of
circumcised.
Nun and the heads
So
of the
shall
fathers'
my
houses of
covenant
the
be
tribes of
in
the
your
people of Israel
flesh,
gave
an
them to inhabit.
everlasting covenant.
Their
Any
inheritance was by lot,
uncircumcised
just as
male
the Lord
who is
had
not
commanded by the
circumcised
hand of
in the flesh
Moses
of his
for the
foreskin
9 1/2
shall
tribes.
be cut off from his
For Moses
people.
had given
He
an
has
inheritance to the 2 1/2 tribes
broken
beyond the
my
Jordan,
covenant.
but to the Levites he
God
gave
said
no
to
inheritance
Abraham,
among them.
As for
the
Sarai,
people of
your
Joseph
wife,
were 2 tribes,
you shall not
Manasseh
call
and
her name
Ephraim, and no
Sarai,
portion was given to the
but
Levites in the
Sarah
land,
shall be
but
her
only
name.
cities to
I will
dwell
bless
in with
her,
their pasture
and
lands
moreover,
for
I
their
will
livestock
give you
and
a
their
son
substance.
by her.
The people of
I
Israel
will
did
bless
as
her,
the Lord commanded
and she
Moses.
shall become
They allotted
nations.
the land.
Kings
Then the people of
people
Judah
shall
came to
come
Joshua at
from
Gilgal,
her.
and Caleb
Then
the son of
Abraham
Jephunneh
fell
the
on his
Kenizzite
face
said to
and
him,
laughed, and said
You
to
know
himself,
what the Lord said to Moses, the man of God, in Kadesh Barnea concerning you and me. I was 40 years old when Moses, the servant of the Lord, sent me from Kadesh Barnea to spy out the land. And I brought him word again as it was in my heart. But my brothers who went up with me made the heart of the people melt. Yet I wholly followed the Lord my God. And Moses swore on that day, saying, Surely the land on which your foot has trodden shall be an inheritance for you and your children forever, because you have wholly followed the Lord my God.
I have blessed him,
And now,
and will make
behold,
him fruitful,
the Lord
and
has kept me
multiply him
alive,
greatly.
just as he said.
He shall father
These 45 years since the time that the Lord spoke this word to Moses, while Israel walked
but
in
I
the
will
wilderness.
establish my
And now,
with
behold,
Isaac, whom
I am this
Sarah
day
shall bear
85
to
years
you
old.
at
I am
this
still as
time
strong today
next
as I was
year."
in the day that Moses sent
When he
me.
had finished talking
My
with
strength
him,
now
God
is as my strength was
went up
then,
from Abraham.
for war and for
Then
going
Abraham
and
took
coming.
Ishmael his son,
So now,
and all those
give
born
me
in his
this hill
house,
country of
or
which
bought
the
with
Lord
his money,
spoke on that day.
every male
For
among
you
the men of
heard on that
Abraham's
day
house,
how the
and
Anakim
he
were there,
circumcised
with
the
great
flesh of their
fortified
foreskins
cities.
that
It may
very
be that the
day,
Lord will be with
as
me,
God had said
and I
to him.
shall drive them out just
Abraham
as
was
the Lord
99 years
said.
old when he was
Then Joshua blessed
circumcised
him,
in the
and
flesh
he
of
gave
his
Hebron
foreskin.
to Caleb the son of
And
Jephunneh,
Ishmael,
bore an
his son,
inhabitants.
was 13 years
Therefore
old when
Hebron
he
became
was
the inheritance of
circumcised
Caleb the son
in
of
the flesh of
Jephunneh,
his
the Kenizzite,
foreskin.
to this day,
That very
because
day Abraham and his
he
son
wholly
Ishmael
followed the
were
Lord, the God of Israel.
circumcised.
Now
And
the
all
name
the
of
men of his
Hebron
house,
formerly
those
was
born in the house,
Kiriath Arba,
and those bought with
Arba
money
was
from
the
a
greatest
foreigner,
man among the
were
Anakim,
circumcised.
and the land had
Genesis
rest
18.
from war.
Joshua
Joshua
appeared to
15.
him by the oaks of Mamre.
The allotment
as
for
he
the
sat
tribe
at
of the
door
people of
his tent
Judah,
in the heat
according
of
to
the
their
day.
clans, reached
He lifted up
southward
his
to the
eyes
boundary
and
of
looked,
Edom,
and behold,
to the wilderness of
3
Zin
men
at
were
the
standing in
farthest
front of
south.
him. When he saw
And their
them,
south
he ran
boundary
from the tent
ran
door
from
to
the
meet
end of
them
the
and
salt
bowed himself to
sea
the
from
earth
the
and
bay
said,
that faces
O
southward.
Lord, if I
It
have
goes
found favor
out
in your sight,
southward
do
of
not
the
pass by
ascent
your
of
servant.
Akrabim,
Let a
passes
little
along
water
to
be
Zin,
brought,
and
wash
goes
your
up
feet,
south of
and
Kadesh
rest yourselves under the
Barnea,
tree,
along by
while I bring a
Hezron,
morsel of bread,
up to
that you
Adar,
may refresh yourselves,
turns about to
and after
Karka,
that you may
passes
pass on,
along
since
to
you have come to
Asmon,
your
goes
servant.
out by the
So they
brook of
said,
Egypt,
Do
and
as
comes
you have
to its
said.
end at
And
the
Abraham
sea.
went quickly into
This
the
shall
tent
be
to
your
Sarah
south
and said,
boundary.
Quick,
And the
3
east boundary
seahs of
is the
fine
salt
flour,
sea
knead it,
to
and
the
make
mouth of the
cakes.
Jordan. And the
Abraham
boundary on
ran
the
to
north
the herd,
side runs
and
from the
took
bay
calf,
of the
tender
sea at the
and
mouth of the Jordan,
and gave it to a young man,
and the boundary
who prepared
goes
it
up to
quickly.
Beth Hoglah,
Then he took
and
curds
passes along
and milk,
north of Beth
and the calf
Arabah,
that he had prepared,
and the boundary goes up
and
to
set
the
it
stone
before
of
them.
Boan,
And he
the
stood
son
by
of
them
Reuben,
under the tree,
and the boundary
while
goes
they
up
ate.
to Debir
They
from the
said to
valley
him,
of Achor,
Where is
and
Sarah,
so
your wife?
northward,
And
turning
he said,
toward Gilgal, which
She
is
is in the
opposite
tent.
the ascent
The
of
Lord said,
Adumim, which
I
is
will
on the
surely
south
return
side
to
of the
you about
valley.
this time next year.
And the boundary passes
And Sarah,
along to
your
the
wife,
waters of
shall
En
have
Shemesh,
our son.
and ends at En
And Sarah
Rogel.
was listening
Then the
at
boundary
tent
goes up
door
by the
behind
valley of the
him.
son of Hinnom,
Now
at the
Abraham
southern
and Sarah were
shoulder
old,
of the Jebusite, that
advanced
is
in years.
Jerusalem.
The way
And
of
the boundary
women
goes
had
up to the
ceased
top
be
of the
with
mountain
Sarah.
that lies over against
So
the valley
Sarah
of Hinnom,
laughed to herself,
on the
saying,
west, at the
After
northern
I
end
am
of the
worn
valley
out,
of Rephaim.
and my Lord is
Then the
old,
boundary extends
shall
from the top of the
I
mountain
have
to the spring
pleasure?
of the waters of
The
Nephtoah,
Lord said to
and from
Abraham,
there to the cities of Mount Ephron.
Why does Sarah
Then the
laugh
boundary
and say,
bends
Shall I
around
indeed
to
bear a child, now
Baalah,
that I'm
that is
old?
Kiriath
Is
Jearim.
anything
And the
too
boundary
hard
circles west of
for the
Baalah
Lord?
to Mount Seir,
At the
passes
appointed
along to
time,
the
I will
northern
return
shoulder
to
of Mount
about this time
Jearim,
next
that is
year,
Chesalon,
and Sarah
and goes
shall
down to
have
Beth
a
Shemesh,
son.
and passes
But
along
Sarah
by
denied it,
Timnah.
saying,
The boundary
I
goes out
did
to the
not
shoulder of the hill
laugh.
north of Ekron.
For she
Then
was
the boundary
afraid.
bends around to
He said,
Shikron,
No,
and passes along to Mount
you
Baalah,
did
and goes
laugh.
out to Jabneel. Then the
Then the men
boundary
set out
comes to
from
an
there,
end at the sea,
and they looked down
and the
toward
west boundary
Sodom.
was the great sea with
And
its
Abraham went with
coastline.
them to set them
This
on
is
their
the boundary
way.
around the people
Lord
of Judah
said,
according to their
Shall I
clans.
hide from
According to the
Abraham
commandment
what
of the
I'm
Lord to
about
Joshua,
do?
he gave to Caleb the
Seeing
son of
that Abraham
Jephunneh
shall
a
surely
portion
become
among the
a
people of
great and
Judah.
mighty nation, and all
Kiriath
the nations of
Arba,
the
that
earth
is
shall be
Hebron.
blessed in
Arba
him.
was the father of Anak.
For I have chosen
And
him,
Caleb
that he may
drove
command
out
his
from there the
children
3
and his
sons of
household
Anak,
after him,
Sheshai
to
and
keep the way of the Lord
Ahiman
by
and
doing
Talmai,
righteousness
the descendants
and
of
justice,
Anak.
so that the
And he
Lord
went up
may
from
bring
there
to
against the
Abraham what
inhabitants
he
of Debir.
has promised him.
Now the name of Debir
Then the
formerly
Lord said,
was Kiriath Sepher.
Because the outcry
And
against
Caleb
Sodom
said,
and Gomorrah is
Whoever
great, and their
strikes
sin
Kiriath
is
Sepher
very
and
grave,
captures it, to
I will
him
go down to
will I
see
give
whether they
Achsah
have
my
not
daughter
altogether
as
according
wife.
to the outcry
And
that has come to
Othniel
me.
the son of Kenaz,
And if not,
the brother of
I
Caleb,
will
captured it.
know.
And he gave him
So the men
Achsah
turned
his
from
daughter
there
as wife.
and went toward Sodom.
When she came to him,
But Abraham
she
still
urged
stood
him
before
to
the
ask her
Lord.
father for a field.
Then Abraham drew near
And she got off her
said,
donkey, and Caleb
Will
said
you
to her,
indeed sweep away
What
the
do you want?
righteous with the
She said
wicked?
to him, Give me a
Suppose there are
blessing,
50
since you
righteous
have
within
given
the
me the
city.
land of the
Will you then
Negev.
sweep away the
Give
place
me
and not
also
spare it for the
springs of
50
water.
righteous who are in it?
And he gave her the upper
Far be
springs
it from you to
and the
do
lower
such a thing, to
springs.
put the righteous to
This is
death
the
with the wicked,
inheritance
so
of
that
the
the
tribe
righteous
of the
fare
people of
as the
Judah
wicked.
according to their
Far be
clans.
that from you.
The cities
Shall not the
belonging to
judge
the
of all
tribe
the
of
earth
the
do
people
what
of
is
Judah
just?
in the extreme south,
And the Lord
toward
said,
the boundary of Edom, were
I find out Sodom 50
Kabzeel,
righteous in the
Eder,
city,
Jagur,
I will spare the
Kinah,
whole place for their
Dimona,
sake.
Adandah,
Abraham
Kadesh,
answered and
Hazor,
said, Behold,
Ithnan,
I have
Ziph,
undertaken
Telem,
to speak to the
Bealoth,
Lord, I,
Hazor,
who am but
Haratah,
dust and ashes,
Kiriath
so
Jezreel, that is
Suppose
Hazor,
5 of the 50 righteous are
Amam,
lacking.
Shema,
Will you destroy the whole
Moladah,
city for lack of 5?
Hazar Gadah,
And he said,
Heshman,
I will
Beth
not
Pelet,
destroy it if I find
Hazar
45
Shual,
there. Again he spoke to him
Beersheba,
and said,
Bizyathiah,
Suppose 40 are
Bala,
found there.
Aim,
He answered,
Ezem,
For the sake of
El-Tolad,
40, I will
Chesil,
not do
Hormah,
it.
Ziklag,
Then he said,
Madmanah,
Oh, let not the Lord be angry,
Sansannah,
and I will speak.
Lebaoth,
Suppose 30 are found
Shilhim,
there. He
Ain,
answered,
and
I will
Rimmon.
not do it if
In
I
all,
find 30
29
there.
cities
He
with
said,
their villages.
Behold,
And in the lowland,
I have undertaken to speak to the
Eshtual,
Lord.
Zorah,
Suppose 20
Asna,
are found there.
Zanoah, En-Ganim,
For the sake
Tapua,
of 20,
Inam,
I will
Jarmuth,
not
Adullam,
destroy it.
Soko,
Then he said,
Azekah,
Oh, let not the
Sharaim,
Lord be angry, and I will
Adithaim,
speak again but this
Gederah,
once.
Gederothaim,
10 are found
14
there.
cities with their
He
villages. Zenan,
For the sake of
Hadashah,
10,
Migdalgad,
I will not
Delain,
destroy it.
Mizpeh, Joktheel,
And the Lord went his
Lachish,
way.
Bozkath,
When he had
Eglon,
finished speaking to
Kabon,
Abraham,
Lamam,
and Abraham
Jetlish,
returned
Gederoth, Beth
to his
Dagon, Naamah,
19.
and Makkadah,
The two
16
angels came to
cities
Sodom in
with
the
their
evening,
villages.
and Lot was sitting
Libnah,
at
Ether,
the gate of
Ashan,
Sodom.
Ifta,
When Lot saw
Ashna,
him, he rose to meet
Nezib,
them and bowed himself
Keilah,
with his face to the earth and
Akzib,
said, My
and
Lord,
Marashah,
please,
9
turn
cities
aside
with
your
their
servant's
villages.
house and spend the night and
Ekron
wash
with
your
its
feet.
towns and its
Then
villages.
you may rise up early
From
and go on
Ekron
your
to
way.
the sea, all
They
that
said,
were by
No,
the side of
we will
Ashdod
spend
with
the
their
night
villages.
in the town square.
Ashdod, its
But he
towns
pressed
and its
them
villages.
strongly.
Gaza,
So they turned aside
its
to him and
towns
entered his
and its
house.
villages, to the
And he
brook of
made them a
Egypt
feast
and the
baked
great
unleavened
sea
bread,
with
and
its
they
coastline.
But
And in
before
the
they
hill
lay
country,
down, the
Shamir,
men of the city, the men of
Jatir,
Sodom,
Sukkot,
both young
Danah,
and old, all the
Kiryat
people to the
Sanah,
last
that
of
is
man,
Debir,
surrounded
Anab,
the house.
Eshtamoh,
And they called to
Anim,
Lot,
Goshen,
Where are the men who came to you tonight?
and Gilo, 11
Bring
cities
them out
with their
to us,
villages.
that we may
Arab,
know
Dumah,
them.
Eshan, Janim,
Lot went out to the
Beth-Tapua,
men at the
Aphekah,
entrance, shut the door
Umtah,
after him, and
Kiryat
said,
Arba, that
I
is
beg you, my
Hebron,
brothers, do
and
not act so
Zior,
wickedly.
9 cities
Behold,
with their villages.
I have 2 daughters who have not
Maon,
known any
Carmel,
man.
Ziph, Jutah,
Let me bring them out to you,
Jokdeam,
and do to them as you
Zanoah,
please.
Cain,
Only do nothing to
Gibeah,
these men, for
and
they have come
Timnah,
under the shelter
10
of my
cities
roof.
with their villages.
But they said,
Al-Hal,
Stand back.
Beth-Zur, Gedor,
And they said,
Ma'arath,
This fellow came to sojourn, and he has become the
6
judge.
cities with their villages.
Now we will deal
Kiryat
worse with you
Baal,
than
that
with
is
them.
Kiryat Jearim,
Then they pressed hard
and
against the man
Rabbah,
Lot,
2 cities
and
with
drew
their
near
villages.
to break the door
In
down.
the wilderness,
But the men
Beth-Araba,
reached out their hands
Medin,
and brought Lot into the
Sekakah,
house with them
Nibshan,
and shut
the
the
city
door.
of Salt,
And they struck with
En-Gedi,
blindness the men who were
6
at the
cities with
entrance
their
of the
villages.
house, both small
But
and
the
great,
Jebusites, the
so that they
inhabitants
wore
of
themselves out,
Jerusalem, the
groping
people of
for the
Judah,
door.
could not drive out.
Then the men
So
said
the
to Lot,
Jebusites
Have
dwell
you
with the
anyone
people
else
of Judah
here,
at
sons-in-law,
Jerusalem to
sons,
this
daughters,
day.
or anyone you have
Joshua
in the city?
16.
Bring them
The
out
allotment
of the
people of
place.
Joseph
For
went
we
from the
are about to
Jordan by
destroy this
Jericho,
place, because
east
the
of the waters
outcry
of
against
Jericho,
its
into the
people has
wilderness,
become
going up
great
from
before
Jericho
the
into
Lord,
the hill country
and the
to
Lord
Bethel.
has sent us to destroy
Then going
it.
from Bethel to
So Lot
Luz,
went out
it passes
and
along
said to his
to
sons-in-law,
Adaroth,
who were
the
to marry
territory of the
his
Archites.
daughters, Up,
But it goes down
get
westward
out
to the
of this
territory
place,
of
for the
the
Lord is about to
Japhletites,
destroy
as far
the
as the
city.
territory of Lower Beth Horon,
But he seemed
then to Gezer,
to his
and it
sons-in-law
ends at the sea.
to be jesting.
The people of Joseph,
As
Manasseh and
morning
Ephraim,
dawned,
received
the angels
their
urged
inheritance.
Lot, saying, Up,
The territory
take
of the
your
people of
wife
Ephraim
and your
by
2
their
daughters
clans
who are
was
here,
as follows.
lest you be
The
swept
boundary of their
away
inheritance
in the
on the
punishment of
east
the
was
city.
Adaroth Adar,
But he
as far
lingered.
as upper
So
Beth
the men
Horon.
seized him and his wife and his 2
And the
daughters
boundary
by the
goes from there
hand,
to the sea.
the Lord being merciful to
On
him.
the north
and they
is
brought him
Mikmethoth.
out and set
Then
him
on the east,
outside
the boundary
city.
turns
And as they
around
brought them out,
toward
one said,
Taanath,
Escape
Shiloh,
for your
and
life. Do
passes
not
along
look back
beyond
or
it
stop
on the
anywhere
east
in the
to
valley.
Genoa.
Escape to the
Then it
hills,
goes down
lest
from
you
Genoa
be
to
swept
Adaroth
away.
and to
And Lot said to
Naarah,
them, Oh no,
and
my
touches
Lord,
Jericho,
behold,
ending
your
at the
servant has
Jordan.
found favor in your
From
sight, and you
Tapua,
have shown me
the boundary
great
goes
kindness in
westward
saving
to the
my
brook
life.
Kanah,
But
and
I
ends at
cannot
the sea.
escape to the hills,
Such
lest
is
the
the
disaster
inheritance of the
overtake
tribe
me, and
of
I
the people of
die.
Ephraim by
Behold,
their clans,
this city is
together
near
with the
enough to flee
towns
to, and it
that
is a
was set
little
apart
one.
for the people
Let
of
me
Ephraim
escape
within
there.
the inheritance
Is it not
of
a
the
little one,
Manassites,
and my life will
all
be
those
saved?
towns with
He
their
said to him,
villages.
Behold,
However,
I
they
grant
did
you
not
this
drive
favor
out the
also,
Canaanites
that I
who
will not
lived in
overthrow the
Gezer,
city
so
of
the
which you have
Canaanites have
spoken.
lived in the
Escape
midst
there
of Ephraim
quickly,
to this
for I
day,
can do nothing till
but
you
have been
arrive
made
there.
to do forced
Therefore the name of
labor.
the city was called
Joshua 17.
Zoar.
Then
The sun
allotment
had
was
risen on
made to
the
the
earth
people of Manasseh,
when Lot came to
for
Zoar.
he was the
Then
firstborn
the Lord
of Joseph.
rained on
To
Sodom
Machir, the
and
firstborn of
Gomorrah
Manasseh,
sulfur
the father of Gilead,
and
who
fire
allotted
from the
Gilead and
Lord
Bashan,
out of
because
heaven.
he was a man of
And
war.
he overthrew
And allotments
those
were made to the
cities
rest of the
and
people
all
of
the
Manasseh by their
valley
clans,
and all the inhabitants
Abiezer,
of the
Helek,
cities and what
Asriel,
grew on the
Shechem,
ground.
Hefer, and Shemida. These
But
were
Lot's
the male
wife
descendants of Manasseh, the
behind
son of
him
Joseph,
looked
by their
back.
clans.
And
Now
she became
Zelophehad,
a
the son of
pillar
Hefer,
of
son
salt.
of Gilead, son of Machir, son of Manasseh,
And Abraham went early
had
in the
no
morning to
sons,
the place
but
where
only
he had
daughters.
stood before the
And these are
Lord.
the names of his daughters.
And he looked down towards
Mahlah,
Sodom and
Noah,
Gomorrah,
Hoglah,
and toward
Milcah,
all the land of the
Tirzah.
valley.
They
And he
approached
looked,
Eleazar the
and
priest
behold,
and Joshua the son of of Nun, and the leaders, and said, The Lord commanded Moses to give us an inheritance along with our brothers. So according to the mouth of the Lord he gave them an inheritance among the brothers of their father. Thus there fell to Manasseh 10 portions, besides the land of Gilead and Bashan, which is on the other side of the Jordan, because the daughters of Manasseh received an inheritance along with his sons. The land of Gilead was allotted to the rest of the people of Manasseh. The territory of Manasseh reached from Asher to Michmethath, which is east of Shechem, and the boundary goes along southward to the inhabitants of En Tappuah. The land of Tapua belonged to Manasseh, but the town of Tapua on the boundary of Manasseh belonged to the people of Ephraim. Then the boundary went down to the brook Cana. These cities to the south of the brook among the cities of Manasseh belonged to Ephraim. Then the boundary of Manasseh goes on the north side of the brook and ends at the sea. The land to the south being Ephraim's, and that to the north being Manasseh's, with the sea forming its boundary. On the north Asher is reached, and on the east Issachar. Also in Issachar and in Asher, Manasseh had Beth-shean and its villages, and Ibleam and its villages, and the inhabitants of Dor and its villages, and the inhabitants of Endor and its villages, and the inhabitants of Taanach and its villages, and the inhabitants of Megiddo and its villages. The third is Naphat. Yet the people of Manasseh could not take possession of those cities, but the Canaanites persisted in dwelling in that land. Now when the people of Israel grew strong, they put the Canaanites to forced labor, but did not utterly drive them out. Then the people of Joseph spoke to Joshua, saying, Why have you given me but one lot and one portion as an inheritance, although I am a numerous people, since all along the Lord has blessed me? And Joshua said to them, If you are a numerous people, go up by yourselves to the forest, and there clear ground for yourselves in the land of the Perizzites and the Rephaim, since the hill country of Ephraim is too narrow for you. The people of Joseph said, The hill country is not enough for us. Yet all the Canaanites who dwell in the plain have chariots of iron, both those in Beth-shean and its villages, and those in the valley of Jezreel. Then Joshua said to the house of Joseph, to Ephraim and Manasseh, You are a numerous people, and have great power. Ye shall not have one allotment only, but the hill country shall be yours, for though it is a forest, you shall clear it, and possess it to its farthest borders. For you shall drive out the Canaanites, though they have chariots of iron, and though they are strong. Joshua 18. Then the whole congregation of the people of Israel assembled at Shiloh, and set up the tent of meeting there. The land lay subdued before them. There remained among the people of Israel 7 tribes whose inheritance had not yet been apportioned. So Joshua said to the people of Israel, How long will you put off going in to take possession of the land which the Lord, the God of your fathers, has given you? Provide 3 men from each tribe, and I will send them out that they may set out and go up and down the land. They shall write a description of it with a view to their inheritances, and then come to me. They shall divide it into 7 portions. Judah shall continue in his territory on the south, and the house of Joseph shall continue in their territory on the north. And you shall describe the land in 7 divisions, and bring the description here to me. And I will cast lots for you here before the Lord our God. The Levites have no portion among you, for the priesthood of the Lord is their heritage. And Gad and Reuben and half the tribe of Manasseh have received their inheritance beyond the Jordan eastward, which Moses the servant of the Lord gave them. So the men arose and went. And Joshua charged those who went to write the description of the land, saying, Go up and down in the land, and write a description, and return to me, and I will cast lots for you here before the Lord in Shiloh. So the men went, and passed up and down in the land, and wrote in a book a description of it by towns in 7 divisions. Then they came to Joshua to the camp at Shiloh, and Joshua cast lots for them in Shiloh before the Lord. And there Joshua apportioned the land to the people of Israel, to each his portion. The lot of the tribe of the people of Benjamin according to its clans came up, and the territory allotted to it fell between the people of Judah and the people of Joseph. On the north side their boundary began at the Jordan. Then the boundary goes up to the shoulder north of Jericho, then up through the hill country westward, and it ends at the wilderness of Beth-aven. From there the boundary passes along southward in the direction of Luz, to the shoulder of Luz, that is Bethel. Then the boundary goes down to Adarothadar, on the mountain that lies south of Lower Beth-horon. Then the boundary goes in another direction, turning on the western side southward from the mountain that lies to the south, opposite Beth-horon, and it ends at Kiriath-baal, that is Kiriath-jearim, a city belonging to the people of Judah. This forms the western side. And the southern side begins at the outskirts of Kiriath-jearim, and the boundary goes from there to Ephron, to the spring of the waters of Nephtoah. Then the boundary goes down to the border of the mountain that overlooks the valley of the son of Hinnom, which is at the north end of the valley of Rephaim, and it then goes down the valley of Hinnom, south of the shoulder of the Jebusites, and downward to En-rogel. Then it bends in a northerly direction, going on to En-shemesh, and from there goes to Gilaloth, which is opposite the ascent of Adumim. Then it goes down to the stone of Boan, the son of Reuben, and passing on to the north of the shoulder of Beth Arabah, it goes down to the Arabah. Then the boundary passes on to the north of the shoulder of Beth Hoglah, and the boundary ends at the northern bay of the Salt Sea, at the south end of the Jordan. This is the southern border. The Jordan forms its boundary on the eastern side. This is the inheritance of the people of Benjamin, according to their clans, boundary by boundary all around. Now the cities of the tribe of the people of Benjamin, according to their clans, were Jericho, Beth Hoglah, Emek-Keziz, Beth Arabah, Zemaraim, Bethel, Avim, Parah, Ophrah, Shephar, Ammoni, Othni, Geba, 12 cities with their villages, Gibeon, Ramah, Beeroth, Mizpeh, Chephirah, Moza, Rechem, Irpiel, Taralah, Zelah, Ha-Eleph, Jebus, that is Jerusalem, Gibeah, and Kiriath Jearim, 14 cities with their villages. This is the inheritance of the people of Benjamin, according to its clans. Joshua 19. The second lot came out for Simeon, for the tribe of the people of Simeon, according to their clans, and their inheritance was in the midst of the inheritance of the people of Judah. And they had for their inheritance Beersheba, Sheba, Moladah, Hazar-Shual, Balah, Ezem, El-Tolad, Bethel, Hormah, Ziklag, Beth-Markaboth, Hazar-Susa, Beth-Lebaoth, and Sharuhen, 13 cities with their villages, Ain, Rimmon, Ether, and Ashan, 4 cities with their villages, together with all the villages around these cities as far as Baalath-Beer, Ramah of the Negeb. This was the inheritance of the tribe of the people of Simeon according to their clans. The inheritance of the people of Simeon formed part of the territory of the people of Judah. Because the portion of the people of Judah was too large for them, the people of Simeon obtained an inheritance in the midst of their inheritance. The third lot came up for the people of Zebulun according to their clans, and the territory of their inheritance reached as far as Sarid. Then their boundary goes up westward and on to Mariel, and touches Dabasheth, then the brook that is east of Jokneam. From Sarid it goes in the other direction eastward toward the sunrise to the boundary of Chisloth Tabor. From there it goes to Dabarath, then up to Japhiah. From there it passes along on the east toward the sunrise to Gath-Hepher, to Eth-Kazin, and going on to Rimmon, it bends toward Ner. Then on the north the boundary turns about to Hanathon, and it ends at the valley of Iftahel. And Katath, Nahalal, Shimron, Adalah, and Bethlehem, 12 cities with their villages. This is the inheritance of the people of Zebulun according to their clans, these cities with their villages. The fourth lot came out for Issachar, for the people of Issachar according to their clans. Their territory included Jezreel, Chesulloth, Shunem, Hapharaim, Shion, Anaharath, Rabith, Kishion, Ebez, Remeth, En-Ganim, En-Hadah, Beth-Pazez. The boundary also touches Tabor, Shahazumah, and Beth-Shemesh, and its boundary ends at the Jordan, 16 cities with their villages. This is the inheritance of the tribe of the people of Issachar according to their clans, the cities with their villages. The fifth lot came out for the tribe of the people of Asher according to their clans. Their territory included Helkath, Halai, Beten, Akshaph, Alam-Melech, Amad, and Mishal. On the west it touches Carmel and Shihor-Libnath. Then it turns eastward. It goes to Beth-Dagon and touches Zebulun and the valley of Iftahel, northward to Beth-Emek and Neiel. Then it continues in the north to Kabul, Ebron, Rehob, Haman, Cana, as far as Sidon the Great. Then the boundary turns to Ramah, reaching to the fortified city of Tyre. Then the boundary turns to Hosa, and it ends at the sea, Mahalab, Akzib, Umah, Afek, and Rehob, 22 cities with their villages. This is the inheritance of the tribe of the people of Asher according to their clans, these cities with their villages. The sixth lot came out for the people of Naphtali, for the people of Naphtali according to their clans, and their boundary ran from Heleph, from the oak in Zanan Anim, and Adamai Nekeb, and Jabneel, as far as Lakam, and it ended at the Jordan. Then the boundary turns westward to Asnath Tabor, and goes from there to Hukok, touching Zebulun at the south, and Asher on the west, and Judah on the east, at the Jordan. The fortified cities are Ziddim, Zer, Hamath, Rakath, Chinnereth, Adamah, Ramah, Hazor, Kadesh, Idrei, En-Hazor, Iran, Migdal-El, Horem, Beth-Anath, and Beth-Shemesh. 19 cities with their villages. This is the inheritance of the tribe of the people of Naphtali according to their clans, the cities with their villages. The seventh lot came out for the tribe of the people of Dan according to their clans, and the territory of its inheritance included Zorah, Eshtaol, Ir-Shemesh, Sha'alabin, Aijalon, Ithlah, Elon, Timnah, Ekron, El-Takeh, Gibbethon, Baalath, Jehud, Bene Barak, Gath-Rimmon, and Me-Jarkon, and Rakon with the territory over against Joppa. When the territory of the people of Dan was lost to them, the people of Dan went up and fought against Leshem, and after capturing it and striking it with the sword, they took possession of it, and settled in it, calling Leshem Dan, after the name of Dan their ancestor. This is the inheritance of the tribe of the people of Dan according to their clans, these cities with their villages. When they had finished distributing the several territories of the land as inheritances, the people of Israel gave an inheritance among them to Joshua the son of Nun. By command of the Lord they gave him the city that he asked, Timnath-Serah, in the hill country of Ephraim, and he rebuilt the city and settled in it. These are the inheritances that Eleazar the priest, and Joshua the son of Nun, and the heads of the fathers' houses of the tribes of the people of Israel, distributed by lot at Shiloh before the Lord, at the entrance of the tent of meeting. So they finished dividing the land.
Joshua 20. Then the Lord said to Joshua, Say to the people of Israel, Appoint the cities of refuge of which I spoke to you through Moses, that the manslayer who strikes any person without intent or unknowingly may flee there. They shall be for you a refuge from the avenger of blood. He shall flee to one of these cities, and shall stand at the entrance of the gate of the city, and explain his case to the elders of that city. Then they shall take him into the city, and give him a place, and he shall remain with them. And if the avenger of blood pursues him, they shall not give up the manslayer into his hand, because he struck his neighbor unknowingly, and did not hate him in the past. And he shall remain in that city until he has stood before the congregation for judgment, until the death of him who is high priest at the time. Then the manslayer may return to his own town and his own home, to the town from which he fled. So they set apart Kadesh in Galilee in the hill country of Naphtali, and Shechem in the hill country of Ephraim, and Kiriath Arba, that is Hebron, in the hill country of Judah. And beyond the Jordan east of Jericho they appointed Bezer, in the wilderness on the tableland, from the tribe of Reuben, and Ramoth in Gilead from the tribe of Gad, and Golan in Bashan from the tribe of Manasseh. These were the cities designated for all the people of Israel, and for the stranger sojourning among them, that anyone who killed a person without intent could flee there, so that he might not die by the hand of the avenger of blood, till he stood before the congregation. Joshua 21. Then the heads of the fathers' houses of the Levites came to Eleazar the priest, and to Joshua the son of Nun, and to the heads of the fathers' houses of the tribes of the people of Israel, and they said to them at Shiloh in the land of Canaan, The Lord commanded through Moses that we be given cities to dwell in, along with their pasture lands for our livestock. So by command of the Lord the people of Israel gave to the Levites the following cities and pasture lands out of their inheritance. The lot came out for the clans of the Kohathites. So those Levites who were descendants of Aaron the priest received by lot from the tribes of Judah, Simeon, and Benjamin 13 cities. And the rest of the Kohathites received by lot from the clans of the tribe of Ephraim, from the tribe of Dan, and the half-tribe of Manasseh 10 cities. The Gershonites received by lot from the clans of the tribe of Issachar, from the tribe of Asher, from the tribe of Naphtali, and from the half-tribe of Manasseh in Bashan 13 cities. The Merarites, according to their clans, received from the tribe of Reuben, the tribe of Gad, and the tribe of Zebulun 12 cities. These cities and their pasture lands the people of Israel gave by lot to the Levites, as the Lord had commanded through Moses. Out of the tribe of the people of Judah and the tribe of the people of Simeon they gave the following cities mentioned by name, which went to the descendants of Aaron, one of the clans of the Kohathites who belonged to the people of Levi, since the lot fell to them first. They gave them Kiriath Arba, Arba being the father of Anak, that is Hebron, in the hill country of Judah, along with the pasture lands around it. But the fields of the city and its villages had been given to Caleb the son of Jephunneh as his possession. And to the descendants of Aaron the priest they gave Hebron, the city of refuge for the manslayer, with its pasture lands, Libnah with its pasture lands, Jatir with its pasture lands, Eshtemoa with its pasture lands, Holon with its pasture lands, Debir with its pasture lands, Ain with its pasture lands, Juttah with its pasture lands, Beth Shemesh with its pasture lands, 9 cities out of these 2 tribes. Then out of the tribe of Benjamin, Gibeon with its pasture lands, Gibbah with its pasture lands, Anathoth with its pasture lands, Almon with its pasture lands, 4 cities. The cities of the descendants of Aaron the priests were in all 13 cities with their pasture lands. As to the rest of the Kohathites, belonging to the Kohathite clans of the Levites, the cities allotted to them were out of the tribe of Ephraim. To them were given Shechem, the city of refuge for the manslayer, with its pasture lands in the hill country of Ephraim, Gezer with its pasture lands, Kibzaim with its pasture lands, Beth-horon with its pasture lands, 4 cities, and of the tribe of Dan, El-Tekeh with its pasture lands, Gibbethon with its pasture lands, Ahijalon with its pasture lands, Gath-Rimmon with its pasture lands, 4 cities. And out of the half-tribe of Manasseh, Tanakh with its pasture lands, Gath-Rimmon with its pasture lands, 2 cities. The cities of the clans of the rest of the Kohathites were 10 in all with their pasture lands. And to the Gershonites, one of the clans of the Levites, were given out of the half-tribe of Manasseh, Golan in Bashan with its pasture lands, the city of refuge for the manslayer, Beish Terah with its pasture lands, and out of the tribe of Issachar, Kishion with its pasture lands, Daberoth with its pasture lands, Jarmuth with its pasture lands, En-Ganim with its pasture lands, 4 cities, and out of the tribe of Asher, Mishal with its pasture lands, Abdon with its pasture lands, Helkath with its pasture lands, Rehob with its pasture lands, 4 cities, and out of the tribe of Naphtali, Kadesh in Galilee with its pasture lands, the city of refuge for the manslayer, Hamoth Dor with its pasture lands, and Kartan with its pasture lands, 3 cities. The cities of the several clans of the Gershonites were in all 13 cities with their pasture lands. And to the rest of the Levites, the Merarite clans were given out of the tribe of Zebulun, Jokneam with its pasture lands, Kartah with its pasture lands, Dimnah with its pasture lands, Nahalal with its pasture lands, 4 cities. And out of the tribe of Reuben, Bezer with its pasture lands, Jahaz with its pasture lands, Kedemoth with its pasture lands, and Mephaath with its pasture lands, 4 cities. And out of the tribe of Gad, Ramoth and Gilead with its pasture lands, a city of refuge for the manslayer, Mahanaim with its pasture lands, Heshbon with its pasture lands, Jazer with its pasture lands, 4 cities in all. As for the cities of the several Merarite clans, that is, the remainder of the clans of the Levites, those allotted to them were in all 12 cities. The cities of the Levites in the midst of the possession of the people of Israel were in all 48 cities with their pasture lands. These cities each had its pasture lands around it. So it was with all these cities. Thus the Lord gave to Israel all the land that he swore to give to their fathers, and they took possession of it, and they settled there. And the Lord gave them rest on every side, just as he had sworn to their fathers. Not one of all their enemies had withstood them, for the Lord had given all their enemies into their hands. Not one word of all the good promises that the Lord had made to the house of Israel had failed. All came to pass. Joshua 22. At that time Joshua summoned the Reubenites and the Gadites and the half-tribe of Manasseh, and he said to them, You have kept all that Moses the servant of the Lord commanded you, and have obeyed my voice in all that I have commanded you. You have not forsaken your brothers these many days, down to this day, but have been careful to keep the charge of the Lord your God. And now the Lord your God has given rest to your brothers, as he promised them. Therefore turn, and go to your tents in the land where your possession lies, which Moses the servant of the Lord gave you on the other side of the Jordan. Only be very careful to observe the commandment and the law that Moses the servant of the Lord commanded you, to love the Lord your God, and to walk in all his ways, and to keep his commandments, and to cling to him, and to serve him with all your heart and with all your soul. So Joshua blessed them, and sent them away, and they went to their tents. Now to the one half of the tribe of Manasseh Moses had given a possession in Bashan, but to the other half Joshua had given a possession beside their brothers in the land west of the Jordan. And when Joshua sent them away to their homes, and blessed them, he said to them, Go back to your tents, with much wealth, and with very much livestock, with silver, gold, bronze, and iron, and with much clothing. Divide the spoil of your enemies with your brothers. So the people of Reuben and the people of Gad and the half-tribe of Manasseh returned home, parting from the people of Israel at Shiloh, which is in the land of Canaan, to go to the land of Gilead, their own land, of which they had possessed themselves by command of the Lord through Moses. And when they came to the region of the Jordan that is in the land of Canaan, the people of Reuben and the people of Gad and the half-tribe of Manasseh built there an altar by the Jordan, an altar of imposing size. And the people of Israel heard it said, Behold, the people of Reuben and the people of Gad and the half-tribe of Manasseh have built the altar at the frontier of the land of Canaan, in the region about the Jordan, on the side that belongs to the people of Israel. And when the people of Israel heard of it, the whole assembly of the people of Israel gathered at Shiloh to make war against them. Then the people of Israel sent to the people of Reuben and the people of Gad and the half-tribe of Manasseh in the land of Gilead, Phinehas, the son of Eleazar the priest, and with him 10 chiefs, one from each of the tribal families of Israel, every one of them the head of a family among the clans of Israel. And they came to the people of Reuben, the people of Gad, and the half-tribe of Manasseh in the land of Gilead, and they said to them, Thus says the whole congregation of the Lord, What is this breach of faith that you have committed against the God of Israel, in turning away this day from following the Lord, by building yourselves an altar this day in rebellion against the Lord? Have we not had enough of the sin at Peor, from which even yet we have not cleansed ourselves, and for which there came a plague upon the congregation of the Lord, that you too must turn away this day from following the Lord? And if you too rebel against the Lord today, then tomorrow he will be angry with the whole congregation of Israel. But now, if the land of your possession is unclean, pass over into the Lord's land where the Lord's tabernacle stands, and take for yourselves a possession among us. Only do not rebel against the Lord, or make us as rebels by building for yourselves an altar other than the altar of the Lord our God. Did not Achan the son of Zerah break faith in the matter of the devoted things? And wrath fell upon all the congregation of Israel? And he did not perish alone for his iniquity. Then the people of Reuben, the people of Gad, and the half-tribe of Manasseh said in answer to the heads of the families of Israel, The mighty one, God, the Lord, the mighty one, God, the Lord, he knows. And let Israel itself know, if it was in rebellion or in breach of faith against the Lord, do not spare us today for building an altar to turn away from following the Lord. Or if we did so to offer burnt offerings or grain offerings or peace offerings on it, may the Lord himself take vengeance. No, but we did it from fear that in time to come your children might say to our children, What have you to do with the Lord, the God of Israel? For the Lord has made the Jordan a boundary between us and you. You people of Reuben and people of Gad, you have no portion in the Lord. So your children might make our children cease to worship the Lord. Therefore we said, Let us now build an altar, not for burnt offering, nor for sacrifice, but to be a witness between us and you, and between our generations after us, that we do perform the service of the Lord in his presence with our burnt offerings and sacrifices and peace offerings, so your children will not say to our children in time to come, You have no portion in the Lord. And we thought, if this should be said to us or to our descendants in time to come, we should say, Behold, the copy of the altar of the Lord which our fathers made, not for burnt offerings nor for sacrifice, but to be a witness between us and you. Far be it from us that we should rebel against the Lord, and turn away this day from following the Lord, by building an altar for burnt offering, grain offering, or sacrifice, other than the altar of the Lord our God that stands before his tabernacle. When Phinehas the priest, and the chiefs of the congregation, the heads of the families of Israel who were with him, heard the words that the people of Reuben and the people of Gad and the people of Manasseh spoke, it was good in their eyes. And Phinehas the son of Eleazar the priest said to the people of Reuben and the people of Gad and the people of Manasseh, Today we know that the Lord is in our midst, because you have not committed this breach of faith against the Lord. Now you have delivered the people of Israel from the hand of the Lord. Then Phinehas the son of Eleazar the priest and the chiefs returned from the people of Reuben and the people of Gad in the land of Gilead to the land of Canaan to the people of Israel, and brought back word to them. And the report was good in the eyes of the people of Israel. And the people of Israel blessed God, and spoke no more of making war against them to destroy the land where the people of Reuben and the people of Gad were settled. The people of Reuben and the people of Gad called the altar Witness, for, they said, It is a witness between us that the Lord is God. Joshua 23. A long time afterward, when the Lord had given rest to Israel from all their surrounding enemies, and Joshua was old and well advanced in years, Joshua summoned all Israel, its elders and heads, its judges and officers, and said to them, I am now old and well advanced in years, and you have seen all that the Lord your God has done to all these nations for your sake. For it is the Lord your God who has fought for you. Behold, I have allotted to you as an inheritance for your tribes those nations that remain, along with all the nations that I have already cut off, from the Jordan to the great sea in the west. The Lord your God will push them back before you, and drive them out of your sight, and you shall possess their land, just as the Lord your God promised you. Therefore, be very strong to keep and to do all that is written in the book of the law of Moses, turning aside from it neither to the right hand nor to the left, that you may not mix with these nations remaining among you, or make mention of the names of their gods, or swear by them, or serve them, or bow down to them. But you shall cling to the Lord your God, just as you have done to this day. For the Lord has driven out before you great and strong nations. And as for you, no man has been able to stand before you to this day. One man of you puts to flight 1,000, since it is the Lord your God who fights for you, just as he promised you. Be very careful, therefore, to love the Lord your God. For if you turn back and cling to the remnant of these nations remaining among you, and make marriages with them, so that you associate with them and they with you, know for certain that the Lord your God will no longer drive out these nations before you, but they shall be a snare and a trap for you, a whip on your sides, and thorns in your eyes, until you perish from off this good ground that the Lord your God has given you. And now I am about to go the way of all the earth. And you know in your hearts and souls, all of you, that not one word has failed of all the good things that the Lord your God promised concerning you. All have come to pass for you. Not one of them has failed. But just as all the good things that the Lord your God promised concerning you have been fulfilled for you, so the Lord will bring upon you all the evil things, until he has destroyed you from off this good land that the Lord your God has given you. If you transgress the covenant of the Lord your God, which he commanded you, and go and serve other gods and bow down to them, then the anger of the Lord will be kindled against you, and you shall perish quickly from off the good land that he has given to you. Joshua 24. Joshua gathered all the tribes of Israel to Shechem, and summoned the elders, the heads, the judges, and the officers of Israel. And they presented themselves before God. And Joshua said to all the people, Thus says the Lord, the God of Israel, Long ago, your fathers lived beyond the Euphrates. Terah, the father of Abraham and of Nahor, and they served other gods. Then I took your father Abraham from beyond the river, and led him through all the land of Canaan, and made his offspring many. I gave him Isaac, and to Isaac I gave Jacob and Esau. And I gave Esau the hill country of Seir to possess. But Jacob and his children went down to Egypt, and I sent Moses and Aaron, and I plagued Egypt with what I did in the midst of it. And afterward I brought you out. Then I brought your fathers out of Egypt, and you came to the sea. And the Egyptians pursued your fathers with chariots and horsemen to the Red Sea. And when they cried to the Lord, he put darkness between you and the Egyptians, and made the sea come upon them and cover them, and your eyes saw what I did in Egypt. And you lived in the wilderness a long time. Then I brought you to the land of the Amorites, who lived on the other side of the Jordan. They fought with you, and I gave them into your hand, and you took possession of their land, and I destroyed them before you. Then Balak the son of Zippor, king of Moab, arose and fought against Israel. And he sent and invited Balaam the son of Beor to curse you. But I would not listen to Balaam. Indeed, he blessed you. So I delivered you out of his hand. And you went over the Jordan and came to Jericho, and the leaders of Jericho fought against you, and also the Amorites, the Perizzites, the Canaanites, the Hittites, the Girgashites, the Hivites, and the Jebusites. And I gave them into your hand. And I sent the hornet before you, which drove them out before you, the 2 kings of the Amorites. It was not by your sword or by your bow. I gave you a land on which you had not labored, and cities that you had not built, and you dwell in them. You eat the fruit of vineyards and olive orchards that you did not plant. Now therefore, fear the Lord, and serve him in sincerity and in faithfulness. Put away the gods that your fathers served beyond the river and in Egypt, and serve the Lord. And if it is evil in your eyes to serve the Lord, choose this day whom you will serve, whether the gods your fathers served in the region beyond the river, or the gods of the Amorites in whose land you dwell. But as for me and my house, we will serve the Lord. Then the people answered, Far be it from us that we should forsake the Lord to serve other gods. For it is the Lord our God who brought us and our fathers up from the land of Egypt, out of the house of slavery, and who did those great signs in our sight, and preserved us in all the way that we went, and among all the peoples through whom we passed. And the Lord drove out before us all the peoples, the Amorites who lived in the land. Therefore, we also will serve the Lord, for he is our God. But Joshua said to the people, You are not able to serve the Lord, for he is a holy God. He is a jealous God. He will not forgive your transgressions or your sins. If you forsake the Lord and serve foreign gods, then he will turn and do you harm and consume you, after having done you good. And the people said to Joshua, No, but we will serve the Lord. Then Joshua said to the people, You are witnesses against yourselves that you have chosen the Lord to serve him. And they said, We are witnesses. He said, Then put away the foreign gods that are among you, and incline your heart to the Lord, the God of Israel. And the people said to Joshua, The Lord our God we will serve, and his voice we will obey. So Joshua made a covenant with the people that day, and put in place statutes and rules for them at Shechem. And Joshua wrote these words in the book of the law of God. And he took a large stone, and set it up there under the terebinth that was by the sanctuary of the Lord. And Joshua said to all the people, Behold, this stone shall be a witness against us. for it has heard all the words of the Lord that he spoke to us. Therefore it shall be a witness against you, lest you deal falsely with your God. So Joshua sent the people away, every man to his inheritance. After these things, Joshua the son of Nun, the servant of the Lord, died, being 110 years old. And they buried him in his own inheritance at Timnath-Serah, which is in the hill country of Ephraim, north of the mountain of Gaash. Israel served the Lord all the days of Joshua, and all the days of the elders who outlived Joshua, and had known all the work that the Lord did for Israel. As for the bones of Joseph, which the people of Israel brought up from Egypt, they buried them at Shechem, in the piece of land that Jacob bought from the sons of Hamor, the father of Shechem, for 100 pieces of money. It became an inheritance of the descendants of Joseph. And Eleazar the son of Aaron died, and they buried him at Gibeah, the town of Phinehas his son, which had been given him in the hill country of Ephraim.